back to the channel, guys. Hope everybody's having a great day. Now, in this video, I want to talk about my expectations for the Arizona Cardinals this year. As you guys know, they drafted a new quarterback. Previously, you drafted Josh Rosen with the top 10 pick last year. You guys moved on from him because, to me, he wasn't going to fit Cliff Kingsbury's system. So now Cliff Kingsbury has their quarterback. Arizona has their player for the future. And now the Kyler Murray era begins. First, I want to go down the depth chart just to give an overall feel of the team and what I think they're going to be at during the course of the year. Now, starting off at quarterback, obviously you guys have Kyler Murray, right? David Johnson didn't have a good year last year. To me, he'll bounce back. He already has an extension, so you don't have to worry about him being a free agent. David Johnson there. You also have Larry Fitzgerald coming back. But the good thing about the wide receiver core is that it's so big and expanded because you guys drafted good receivers. Hopefully, Hakeem Butler becomes a good receiver. You also have Larry Fitzgerald there, who's a veteran who will help mentor Kyler Murray about the NFL and different things like that. Also, you have Andy Isabella, who you guys drafted, who's very, very fast, who's going to be in the slot. I think it's going to be Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, and also Andy Isabella. And the good thing about Christian Kirk is that he can run in the slot because last year I think he was a slot guy. Him and Larry Fitzgerald moved in and out. So for me, you have Christian Kirk, who was injured last year. He's coming back. Andy Isabella's coming back. Then Larry Fitzgerald is coming back. You drafted Hakeem Butler. And also you have Kevin White, who was a first-round pick but didn't really pan out in Chicago. He's getting a second chance here in Arizona. Now, with the receiving tree, I think this year if Larry Fitzgerald retires, I think Hakeem Butler will become the number one outside. Andy Isabella will be in the slot. And then Christian Kirk will be on the outside. And then you could switch a couple of those guys. But right now, they got Andy Isabella because they need somebody fast in the slot for Kyler Murray. Now, you also have Charles Clay, who was released from Buffalo. You guys really needed a tight end. Jermaine Gresham's not there anymore. You guys needed a veteran who could come in and help out Kyler Murray immediately. Charles Clay can do that. He had some success in Buffalo, but not really to how he was really performing in Miami, I don't think. I think last time he was in Miami, he was much more better and more utilized because Buffalo always had a quarterback problem. So, to me, Kyler Murray can throw the ball. He's very, very accurate. So, he has a good tight end in Charles Clay to use. Now, if you look at the offensive line was one of the worst last year. But I'm just going to go from position right tackle. Marcus Gilbert, he's a little older. He's 31 years old, but he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were a good offensive line. So, he brings in immediate help now while the Arizona Cardinals can find a replacement for him eventually in next year's draft. But, certain guys you have to hit on in the draft. It's not a secret. You have to hit on certain guys' draft. They have to be good. If they're not going to be good, then it's another draft pick that you're going to have to get used to or use another draft pick or whatever. But Marcus Gilbert helps immediately at right tackle. Justin Pugh from the Giants, he was a good player. Obviously, last year he got hurt, but he is a good guard. The Giants should have let him go, but that's neither here nor there. You have Justin Pugh, who's a good right guard. I think when he was with the Giants, he did fill in at right tackle a little bit, and he actually played well at right tackle as well, so, just in case. But Justin Pugh is a good offensive lineman. Mason Cole is a young guy. He's a young guy. I think he was a rookie last year, if I'm not mistaken. Mason Cole, to me, hopefully he develops. We're going to have to see because he gets to be a full-time starter this year, so we'll see if Mason Cole will be a good center for this team. I think he will be, but we're just going to have to see. There's always a question mark on guys who are rookies going to their second year. They're going to have a second-year dip, or he's going to get more playing time. Hopefully, he's a starting center because he is very, very young. And if he does become good, I think you have the center for basically his whole career to be there. Now, moving on to J.R. Sweezy at left guard. J.R. Sweezy is a question mark. He won a Super Bowl in Seattle. Then he went to Tampa Bay and was hurt. Injured back. I think he was there for like 2 seasons. And then he went back to Seattle, kind of got himself healthy, reinvigorated himself and his body and different things like that, and became better offensive lineman again. To me, he's just really good in Seattle. But now that he's with the Cardinals, they gave him a contract, so he's decent at left guard. I'm not going to say it's all-world signing because in Tampa Bay, he could have been their starting left guard, but for some reason, obviously, like I said, he was hurt and didn't really get to pick up, so they let him go. Went back to Seattle, and now he's with the Cardinals, so this will be a good fit for now while trying to build the offensive line for the future when these guys are getting a little bit older. Left tackle DJ Humphries is a good left tackle, solid left tackle, needs to stay healthy. But other than that, DJ Humphries to me is a good left tackle for this team. He's actually still pretty young too. So you guys have a good left tackle. So this offensive line right here that you have, Justin Pugh is fully healthy. Marcus Gilbert's a veteran. J.R. Sweezy is a veteran. DJ Humphries, he's a good player. Mason Cole, question mark, but we'll see if he can be the starting center in the core of that offensive line, because obviously it starts by the center and goes out when they communicate with the quarterback, especially in sending down signals. So the offensive line, hopefully they will play better and be better than from last season. Now you move on to defense. Obviously, Cliff Kingsbury's bringing in a 3-4 defense. And I want to say something, just your defensive line. Robert, I don't know how to say his last name, but I'm going to try. Robert Ndishi, I don't know how to say his last name, forgive me. He was a first round pick. I think he was under the Bruce Arians last year reign, or he was a year after that. I'm not sure. But he has not lived up to anything. He is their nose tackle. So he has, in a 3-4 defense, he's nose tackle. 3 other guys down and 2 linebackers rushing off the edge. This probably, in a 3-4 defensive scheme, these are probably it's not a very good defensive line, because he has not lived up to expectations. Now, Ronnie Gunter and Corey Peters is good, and Ronnie Gunter, we'll see how he plays. But Robert is a big question mark. He has to get better, because he has not done anything. He's not done anything since he's been drafted. And I know that's harsh to say, but he has to improve. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so we're going to have to see how he performs. Now, Chandler Jones, all-world, he's very, very good. I think he won Defensive Player of the Year in 1 year, or he almost got close to winning it. But Chandler Jones is actually very, very, very good. Jordan Hicks from the Philadelphia Eagles, he's very, very good. Your left inside linebacker, because it's 3-4 defense, is 4 linebackers, 3 man down. So with Jordan Hicks being on this team from Philadelphia, very good. Hassan Reddick also is a question mark. He has to start producing, because he hasn't produced since he was drafted. I know they've been flipping him around linebacker, like the 3-4 defense. He'll be a rushing guy. So let's see if he's another inside linebacker. Sorry. So let's see if he'll be good as well. Big question mark on him. Terrell Suggs, he's a veteran. He's not the same guy as he used to be, but Terrell Suggs, to me, he can get it done as a guy who can fill in and help teach a young guy behind him who's looking to take his place. It's always about, the league is always getting younger and younger, so he's there to, to me, if I had to put it, to be a mentor, mainly than more of a every down player, but he can still do it. But to me, I think he's there for a mentor role, but he'll definitely be a starter. And you also have Brooks Reed signed to the team, so he's also good too. So just in case if he needs to come out, if Terrell Suggs needs to come out, Brooks Reed can come in, because he's played in a 3-4 defense and also has played in a 4-3 defense. So he knows what he's doing being an edge rusher. Now, moving on to the secondary real quick. Budda Baker, I liked him out of college. I liked him last year. I think that now that Tyrann Mathieu was gone for that year, obviously he went to Houston, but now he can really be the safety of the team, and him and DJ Swearinger could really be the vocal points of that secondary, because Patrick Peterson is going to be suspended for 6 games. I'm not going to get into that, but Patrick Peterson suspended for 6 games. You also have Robert Alford at cornerback, and you drafted Byron Murphy, who's one of the top corners in the draft, top 5 cornerbacks in the draft. So to me, this team is a young team. You have some veterans on the team. You're going to have to get younger, but this team, to me, in my opinion, and according to NFL.com, they graded the Cardinals draft an A. You got Kyler Murray, Byron Murphy, Andy Isabella in the 2nd round. Obviously, that Andy Isabella was the pick that was used for Josh Rosen. Also, Zach Allen, defensive end. We'll see how he turns out. Hakeem Butler's a big, tall receiver, so we'll see about him as well. Dante Thompson is safety. Draft other wide receivers and different things like that. But the team had a good draft for the players that they selected, because they needed these players. They needed the wide receivers because Larry Fitzgerald was getting older. You definitely needed a quarterback. You needed a corner to come in and make that secondary even younger. You also needed another wide receiver on the team, because, like I said, there was only basically 2 wide receivers on that team from last year. Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk got hurt in the middle of the season, obviously. So, all together, the Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion, are a young team not in a rebuild. And I know your GM is going to say, oh, we're not in a rebuild. We're not rebuild. This team is not fully rebuilding, but with a new quarterback, a new coach, it kind of is in a rebuild mode. I think that this team could go from 3-13 to 6-10, because just looking at the schedule, I mean, you got Baltimore on the schedule. Carolina does a good defense, even though I don't think their offense is going to be all that hot. I mean, it could be. Like I said, I'm not predicting their season, but you have Baltimore, You have Seattle, obviously Seattle division rival. You have the Giants, different teams like that. The 49ers, the Rams. So this division is going to be a very, very tough division. But the Arizona Cardinals on their way up. But it depends on how Kyler Murray plays this year, how he plays in offense. Does the offense work? Is he going to be good in the NFL? That's the biggest question mark of all. But I think he will be. I think you guys will win 6 games, better from last year. You guys will go 6-10, and it'll be a better team than from last year. Obviously, being 3-13. Let me know how you guys feel in the comment section about this video. Tell me what you guys like about the video, what you don't like about the video. What do you disagree on? What do you agree on about what I said in this video? And like always, guys, I'll be back with more videos. Thank you for watching. Share the video. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I will be back with more videos. Until next time, guys. Peace.